everybody. Welcome to Thought Crimes, man. This is your man, Prince Solomon, in the building here today. I got a wonderful guest, a very talented brother by the name of Leonard Anderson. And you know what? I just wanted to talk to him, chop it up with him. You know, excellent story. Brilliant artist. I mean, he rivals the likes of Frank Cho, Jim Lee, you know, guys of that nature, guys that I've always been a fan of. But when I saw Leonard Anderson's art, I says, man, this boy is incredible. So, Leonard, go ahead and introduce yourself to the people.
Well, hello, everybody. I'm nervous. I'm sorry. Hello, everyone. I'm Leonard Anderson, and I am an artist, comic book artist. I've been drawing all of my life, and yeah, that's pretty much who I am as a person.
He said, yeah, pretty much that's it. Well, Leonard, man, one thing that's extremely beautiful about your story, man, your skill level. To me, like, I have a lot of friends that are artists. I'm an artist myself, but your skill level is ridiculous. Yeah. How did you come this far to be able to perfect it so well?
Well, let me start from the root.
Okay.
I have a deformity, a facial deformity, and because of living my life with that, it helped teach me that I'm very different, and I used to always wanted to fit in, and I did a lot of things to that I thought was right in order to be accepted by everyone, and it wasn't the way that I needed to go. So it got to a point where I pushed away a lot of people, and I was left alone. And I said to myself that I didn't want to be here anymore, as far as in that space where I'm by myself.
Mm.
And outside of that as well, me wanting to impress people, I learned that I wanted to impress myself also by proving that I could be the opposite of a lot of the stereotypes that's placed on individuals that look like me.
Mm.
So it helped create that drive.
Mm.
And because of that, I was more driven to wanting to learn how to execute the type of art that I put out. And that's still in me, and I believe is going to be in me for the rest of my life.
Mm.
You know, and that self-encouragement, that motivation, that yes, I can energy that I learned to create and hone for these years. And I am incredibly proud of myself, but a lot of the times when people are to congratulate me for it, I hate the sound, you know, what is that word? Conceited?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like I already know. I'm like, I put in the work, I put in the hours, I put in the effort. There's been days where I'm up late at night and I'm crying because like I can't seem to get down pat what I'm trying to, you know, create. You know, but I kept pushing, kept going, regardless of what people said, or regardless of how people felt, and regardless of all the negative things that I've done in my life. I believed in myself, and I just kept at it.
Man, that's a fantastic story, and I can see that. And one thing I really like is what you said, those times you've been up at night, and you actually cried because you said, I feel like I haven't mastered a specific technique. That shows you your dedication there to your craft. What is giving you that drive and that urge?
What's giving me the drive, you know, I personally believe that your accomplishments, everything that you accomplish, will be measured after you leave here. So right now there's no end, and because there's no, I don't know how to really explain it, but just knowing that I'm here and I'm able to live my life and to be able to practice my craft daily, that I guess that translates into giving me that drive and that spirit to want to keep going, keep at it.
Mm.
You know, because one thing I know, life is short. Life is very short. You know, you can't sit around waddling and complaining about what you don't have, what you yada yada yada, because I can easily do the same. Oh, I look like this. Oh, my face this, my face that, yada yada yada.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you know, why would you sit there and waste all of that time when in the future, and like you're 40 or 50, you look back and you finally realize, wow, I could have been doing something all of this time.
Mm-hmm.
But yet I chose to complain. And so I don't want to be like that. God damn it, if somebody say, well, you look like this. Well, you got damn it right, I do. And watch how I manifest my reality, my thoughts into reality. Regardless of what people say.
I like that. Talk about what was it like for you growing up? Because you said, I take on this attitude of, I know what I look like and I know what people are saying about me, but as you stated, you're going to manifest certain things into your reality. Talk about what was it like for you growing up?
Well, fortunately, I had both my mother and father. They did the best that they could as far as raising me. They gave me everything I wanted, I will never fault them for that, and they were always active in my life. My dad is still active. Unfortunately, I lost my mother in May of this year, and she was 49 when she passed. But as for my parents, they gave me everything. They always tried to encourage me and tell me that, regardless of what people say, don't worry about it. You're unique, you're talented. My mom especially used to always, and I mean always, encourage me and say that I want you to go in before the world and show what God has blessed you with. And my dad, one of the main things he would always tell me, he would say, man, I just want to see you make it. I'm starting to get a little emotional now. He always tell me, he say, man, I just want to see you make it. And it's nothing like being able to have a father as a black man in today's time, especially.
Oh, yes. I'm glad you touched on that because that is something that many, of us are not really being able to have that type of energy and that source material to pull from. But I like the fact that you did, and as you grew up, this is the encouragement that your family gave you as a collective to help you move forward in troubling times. What were some of the obstacles for you growing up, and how is it that you came into loving art?
Okay, well, the obstacles are obvious. Being picked on and ridiculed by children to adults alike. It was very heartbreaking. And even when I got a lot older, in my early 20s, my dad actually admitted to me one night how it really bothered him. But my dad is very, very strong, and I anytime I see him get emotional, it's like the first time for everything I would never have thought. I forget the other question you asked me behind that. How did I get into art?
Yes.
Well, I don't know exactly what made me start, but I know when I was a toddler going to my church that I was born into, I remember I used to draw everything that I saw in the building. It went from that to drawing characters that I saw on television. And one of the main characters that I really started liking was Sonic the Hedgehog. And I got into drawing Sonic, and I learned about comics due to one of my mother's friends at her job. She would send me boxes, and I mean boxes of comics, from Archie, Spider-Man, anything you can name. And I have to admit on air, I actually necessarily don't read comics, but I do follow up on a lot of what's out there because of the internet and other channels that actually tell you the stories of what's going on. So that's how I get my information. But the artwork, being able to express emotion through art, through your characters, like just little things like a person sitting down with their legs crossed and their head is kind of cocked to the side and the expression in their eyes, you being able to capture that and your audience is able to resonate with it. Something that was created, that was imagined in your mind, and you had that ability to manifest it through your craft onto paper, and it creates such a big reaction for something that most people may think, it's nothing, but it's really it's really a lot when you break it down.
Mhm.
You know, so that really fascinated me. But going back to the, you know, starting with art, it's just been it's just been my escape outlet. I say at first, and it's just something that always attracted me. You know, I can't live without it.
That's a beautiful thing. And hey man, it's no problem. You know, I think your artwork is dope, and I see a lot of people definitely in love with your artwork as well. And also, you're not really reading as many comic books because Leonard, man, you're too busy creating your own comic books. You're creating your own lane. So, you know, that's one of the things that I think is very interesting. In general, a lot of times, you know, at a certain point, you have people, they become admirers of the art or admirers of the craft, and then you have the other times where they become masters of the craft, so they're not really, you know, looking at that particular field as a spectator. They're, you know, they're a facilitator. They're in the industry as well, and that's what you're doing. For some of the people that may be listening, I mean, what type of advice can you give the people to, you know, who say they want to step out of their lane, where they may be working their 9 to 5, or they may be, you know, occasionally sketching in their sketchbook? What can you give them as far as motivation, if you have that type of information to share with those people?
One, never ever give up. And that, as cliche as that sounds, that is gold. Do not let anybody tell you what you can't do. Have confidence in yourself. Personally, have a knowledge of yourself. Know who you are. Hold your head up high and say, you know what, I am that I am. I know that I can do all things, regardless of what anybody say. Regardless of what anybody say. When you have that type of attitude, that ingredient alone will push you up, will put you in places that you could never imagine. I'm telling you, being able to love yourself and know that you are everything. You know, look in the mirror every day and say, you know, like Leonard Professor. Yes, I can.
Yep.
Yes, I mother effing can.
Oh yeah.
I'm so serious, man. You keep a positive attitude about yourself, and also when it comes to your craft, I have to say this: you can't slack. You cannot slack. It's not gonna be handed to you. Nobody is gonna fall out of the sky with a briefcase and a suit and a tie, giving you a contract to Disney. No, you have to work. You have to work, even when nobody's looking your way. Still keep going. Still keep going. Keep driving. Keep pushing. I'm sure some of y'all heard this already. I remember listening to a video where a guy was saying the graveyard is the richest place in the world. The graveyard is the richest place in the world, and filled with people that died, that had dreams like all of us, that were too afraid to step out there and say, you know, I'm gonna take a chance. I believe in myself, and I'm gonna put it to test. But instead, they chose to die and take it with them. And you never know, your dream could possibly be the thing that changed the whole entire world.
I like that. I like that, Leonard. Yes, I can. Remember that? Yes, I can. I like that, man.
I can. Seriously.
Yeah, man. That's a beautiful thing. I like that, and you have so much passion. And you know, as I told you before, man, you fucking brilliant, man. You got a lot of dope ass work, and just loving everything you're putting together. Leonard, you know, what are some of the things that you're interested in right now? Because, you know, we've seen an influx of a lot of comic book, from book to screen type films hit the market. We've seen some revamping in the industry, and then we're seeing a lot of Black content creators, a lot of Black illustrators, like we talked about. I don't know if you saw when we spoke with Ms. Ashley Woods, we talked to Jason Reeves and, of course, Carl Jones, and then, boom, yourself right there, Leonard Anderson. Man, like, how do you feel about, you know, this energy? It's like it's a renaissance of Black comic book artists, Black illustrators, Black content creators. What do you think about that?
I really enjoy it, and it really gives me life. Yes, We're all waking up. I think we're waking up.
You said, I think we're waking up.
Yeah, I believe we're waking up finally, and we're supporting each other. Even on my end, with the fans that I've accumulated over time, are willing to support me just for the fact that I share the same skin color as them. Also, I'm glad that a lot of the artists that are out and creating content, we're able to see ourselves in a positive light, rather than always usually be the stereotypical, oh, you know what I'm saying, bro, you know what I'm saying, cause you know I'm in the streets slanging dope, you know what I mean? You know, we're superheroes now. We're in fantasy genres. You know, we're you know, that we're being shown in a positive light more than ever, and that's the unity that I'm glad that we're able to pull together as comic creators, and that's something I hold dear to my heart with what I put out there as well, because I'm tired of the drug kingpin stories. I'd have been in jail. I got baby mamas. Come on, man. You know,
you ain't out there slinging no rocks. You're not slinging any crack. You don't have a story about a super powered crack dealer that is taking over the neighborhood.
Yeah, man, come on, man, cut it out. Cut that mess. I can't stand that, man, because we're all not like that.
Yeah,
you know, that is a negative stereotype that's placed on the entire group of people.
That's
and
what I'm talking about.
I'm glad that us comic creators, the black ones, we're literally tearing down those barriers.
Yeah.
So,
is there anything you want to bring as far as, let's say, curtailing it back to, you know, when you were saying how you was growing up? Is there anything you want to bring awareness to the people about treating people who have perceived differences amongst each other in the population, about how to treat your fellow man and fellow woman regardless of what background or what's going on with them?
Well, I can say, you know, I have to say this without being long-winded. You know, you have to treat people with respect, dignity, and what kind of energy you put out there, you will get back, regardless of who they are and what they look like. You know, because one thing I've learned in my 30 years of living, when it comes to looks, it doesn't matter what you look like. And then you could be the most beautiful person in the world, but guess what? Guess what? You're going to get old. Those looks are going to fade. And I'm all over the place with that. But as far as people that are special needs and deformed and things like that, I understand to a level of degree when it comes to the severity of one's deformity. Like if they're retarded. Look, I don't know if I should say that now because I think that's a bad word to use. But if they're mentally handicapped, you know, of course you have to be careful and treat them with kindness a lot more, because you know they can't really cope in society like the average person. But by all means, just treat everybody with respect, really, in my opinion. I will say, when growing up, I got into a dark place where I didn't want to hear good compliments. I didn't want to hear God for to send you a wife. I didn't want to hear you're beautiful, you're this, you're that, you know, because they call that ableism, I believe, where people would tell you things in order to make themselves feel better about themselves. You know, but now I take it not only as a term of endearment, but as something that when you're speaking life into a person. You know, when you're saying good things about the person that you're talking to. You know, you're saying, hey man, you're a beautiful person. Well, I can tell you, Mr. Prince, brother, you are a very intelligent individual. I love your show. You have great sound quality. You have great content. Your drive, your zeal, everything about you is amazing. And if you hear that daily, that's going to make you become even more of a greater person, and you're going to push yourself harder. You know, and if we as black folks, as a whole, a collective, were to do that to one another every day, that would literally change a lot within our own community. I wholeheartedly believe that, and I feel that is something that a lot of us as blacks do not really get every day. Because you know as well as I know, when you're walking down the street and you smile at another fellow black person, more than likely they'll probably look at you like, well, what you so happy about? And the thought of that, we laugh, and it is funny, but the thought of it is rather sad, because it shows where we are as a people mentally. And a lot of us are hurt, brother. Yeah. You know that as well as I know. A lot of us out here are hurt. Yeah. So we could all just get together and love one another, regardless of what somebody look like. You know, I know we have our fun. We like to pick on one another, roast. And no, I ain't gonna say nothing about roasting. But I can't roast now, because I done been picked on all my life. You best believe I got me some clapbacks.
You said I got me some clapbacks.
Yes, sir.
I got a bag full of clapbacks, man. Yeah, I can tell you definitely would be experienced in being able to defend yourself verbally, and you had to have developed a tough interior to deal with this world, because you know how they can get down.
Oh yeah, people come up to me and be like, bro, what happened to your face? I'm like, nigga, what happened to your face? Don't come at me sideways like that.
Oh,
what the fuck you thought this was? Yeah, let me stop. Hold on, let me keep it holy.
Oh man, you all right? You know what time it is. You know how we get down here on TC.
I know, but I got family watching. So
you say you got family that's watching. I want to talk to you for a minute, Leonard. Call me back.
Okay.
Yeah, I know how it is, man. Yeah, man, it's all beautiful. You made some very, very strong points there when it comes to society and how we should treat each other, especially pertaining to black folks, and the state of being happiness and people, seeing another black person smiling and like, what's wrong with him or what's wrong with her. But yeah, man, we definitely have to push forward in that mindset and support people like you, because see, you're creating your own mythos and mythology, and it's great propaganda. It's positive propaganda, as you stated before, to curtail some of the negative imagery and stereotypes that may freely be floating out there. If it remains unchecked, then it's just going to be out there, and that is what you're doing. So are you, as of right now, Leonard, coming up with anything as far as an original story? Maybe are you working on a graphic novel right now? I know you stated you was working on your website, but what about like a graphic novel, a book, or do you have a film in the works?
Shout out to my friend Rose Lyric. Mm-hmm. She's been trying to get me to animate for a few years now. And for y'all that do know anything about animation and are thorough, I'm talking about thorough. I'm not talking about, I ain't gonna pick on nobody, but thorough animators know that shit is time consuming.
I know, firsthand.
Yes. So I gotta develop, I like to motivate people there, and that's something right there I'm still working on, motivating myself in that department. But yes, the graphic novels, I have 4 that I'm working on right now to speak. To give you a what it's actually about. It's actually involving a family that's actually my family, which is the Andersons. The story first takes place on one person named Leon. Leon actually represents me, and I used to battle depression and suicide and stuff like that. And what happens is, in that story, which is called Imagination, he ends up doing he actually commits suicide. And what takes place afterwards, I don't want to give everything away, but it's a cross between him going to hell and having to fight to get his freedom back and yada yada yada. He met his wife from another life. They join up in battle. It's all over the place right now, what I'm saying. But based on the feedback from my fans, they all love it. So then the next story, there's Float. Float is based on Leonard, which is the son of Leon. Right? He was born with a deformity as well. He was born without an arm. And he created a mechanical arm that can shoot projectiles and things like that. And that story involves him being wanted by the government. And that's actually going to be a very good story too. The next one is Phenomenon, which takes place in another world, in a whole different galaxy where it's filled with nothing but black people. The unique thing about the residents on that planet, everybody has dreadlocks, and the color of your dreadlocks represent the tribe you come from. And I picked for that to be a reason, because color of the rainbow means, it's harmony, so they're harmonious with one another. But it's real deep with that as well. But the son of Leonard, he had a son named Leonardo, and that's another one that, even if I were to explain a portion of it, we'll be here all day.
Man.
The fourth story is I'm a fan of Looney Tunes and Tom and Jerry, so I created it's called Logs, and the main protagonist, not protagonist, but the main people of the story is Grant and Blue the Beaver. Grant represents my father. My father always worked with his hands as long as I've known him. And so in this story, Grant is a lumberjack, and he's actually working for one of the companies that comes from Float, with the story that I mentioned earlier. Blue the Beaver, blue is my favorite color, obviously Blue Universe. And they kind of go back and forth with wacky adventures and stuff, because he's like messing up his home and stuff like that. So that's pretty much more for the children. So those are all of what I have in the works right now.
Wow, that is awesome. And especially the first three books, I am really looking forward to that. I definitely got to hit you up when you get that done and completed. I'll be the first one to review it, man. I would love to check that out. Brilliant concept. Leonard, my brother, man, you have such wonderful art. Any last final words about how can the people reach out to you, where they can go for your material and information, or if they are looking for some work, how can they get out to you, brother?
Okay, I am on Facebook at Leonard Anderson, LeonardAnderson. I'm the guy that has a winning smile with a green background holding one of my sample comic books. So I can plug everything in, right? Because I actually have a campaign going on right now.
Do that. Go ahead. Plug it. Plug away, man. Plug it in. Plug it in. Go ahead. You got it.
Plug it in. Plug it in.
Yeah.
I have a campaign right now. I'm asking for donations to help jumpstart my Blue Universe business, where I can do this full time and I can travel and get the word out as well. I will supply you with the link if you don't mind posting it in the video if you want to.
I will. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
And so I have that. I have Instagram. My Instagram is Blue Universe Comics with an S at the end. It's all one word. I don't like the underscores and numbers and all. I don't like that. It'd be confusing. So I have that. My email right now, if you want to email me about work, my email is idrawstudios with an S at yahoo.com. It's all one word. idrawstudios at yahoo.com. And feel free to hit me up. I'm very approachable, and I'm not going to bite. If you say some stupid shit, I'm just going to block you. Something like that.
That's what I'm talking about. I love it, man. Love it. Yo, Leonard, man, beautiful energy, beautiful person, man. Y'all get out there and support this brother. Please follow him on all of his social media outlets. Let him know how fly he is and the sister brother, because he is out here doing his thing, and y'all got to give it to a black man that's doing some positive, and give it to the black positive content creators as well. Of course, I am Prince Solomon. This has been another fantastic interview here on Thought Crimes, and again, support my beautiful brother here, Leonard Anderson, as well. Leonard, go ahead and say peace to the people.
Peace, y'all. Peace.
Visit www.tunnelvision.network for exclusive content, mini documentary series, comedy, animation, and cultural commentary pertaining to our way of life. Tunnel Vision Network is a hub for you to enjoy the content that was created for us. No censorship, unapologetic, raw, witty humor with great insight, free from the censorship of YouTube. You will be able to experience Thought Crimes unfiltered with also behind the scenes access as well. Subscribe and support for $4.99. This is content for you. www.tunnelvision.network.
There you go.